Hey everyone, it's Kong again with another semi-abridged edition of Should You Summon in support of this classic recurring banner. These characters have been run together a few times already, making it clear that Zilong intends to have them on a repeating schedule to supplement new character launches and newer Destiny banners, and help give players a reliable way to plug some gaps in their rosters. So this week we've got the return of Landius, Yulia, and Jugler. As a Destiny banner, the first SSR is guaranteed to be one of these three that you don't already have. After you pull your first SSR, or if you already have all three of these characters, the banner reverts to a normal raid up, and then off-banner heroes are back on the menu. The nice thing about these recurring banners is you know you can snag one featured character, then wait for the next time it comes back in a few months and grab another one, guaranteed. So let's start with Landius. Landius is one of the game's best overall tanks, particularly dominant in PvP but great in PvE as well. He can counterattack at 2 range, he has a passive skill that lets him self-revive after being killed once, and he has an aura that reduces incoming range damage and crit chance. He's a member of Protagonists buffed by Matthew and Yeles Legends buffed by Landius and Sigma. His fusion power for Yeles Legends grants plus 15% damage dealt if you don't have class advantage over your enemy. He unlocks the attack bonds for Lanford, Listel, the Knight of Mystery, and Rachel, and for his own attack bond he needs Rachel. He's on faction for Phoenix in the Eternal Temple, and he's a strong pick for Hugin and Munin in Ancient Beckoning. The fact that he can tank against range units makes him very helpful in almost any general PvE content. In PvP, probably his most enduring meta feature is his aura that can help shut down incoming critical hits, which can be very annoying for enemy assassins. Then we have Yulia. Yulia is a strong overall general purpose unit. If her health percent is high enough, her talent gives her boosted damage, up to 3 self-revives, and self-healing after combat. Her 3-cost skill is a ranged attack, kind of like Discipline, with some features poached from her other skills. It dispels her debuffs and heals her, strips some buffs from the enemy, and speeds up the cooldown if you get a kill. She's a member of Legion of Glory, buffed by Ledin, Elwyn, and Grenier, Princess Alliance, buffed by Luna and Shelfaniel, and Mythical Realm, buffed by Gizaroth and the Sage of the Trees. This puts her on faction for Scylla in the Eternal Temple, and Nidhogg and Fenrir in Ancient Beckoning. She's still hanging in there as a PvP threat as well, since she can lock down and strip tanks, and has healthy sustain. She doesn't unlock anyone else's bonds, and she needs Jessica for her defensive bond and Zerida for her attack bond. Finally, we have Jugler. Jugler is another meta-defining tank whose talent heals the rest of the team whenever he takes damage. This makes him the primo anti-AoE tank. He also has some strong offensive options, such as the single-target Beast Shock, and his 3C skill, which teleports him into the midst of his enemies with an AoE blast and locks down adjacent units. He's a member of Meteor Strike, buffed by Zerida, Origins of Light, buffed by Dehart, Jugler, and Freya, and Mythical Realm, buffed by Gizaroth and the Sage of the Trees. His fusion power for Origins of Light grants an additional 15% damage dealt when you have a higher hit point percentage than your enemy. He's one of the most recommended characters for a couple of Ancient Beckoning fights. Fenrir, where he'll act as your main healer, and Jormungandr, where he can boost your whole team's DPS by icing the snake off his defense-boosting forest tile. Jugler is also perennially one of the top PvP tank options, usually appearing in something like 96% of players' boxes from season to season, so he's not going anywhere anytime soon. His combination of AoE team healing and a dangerous splash lockdown is simply too good. He unlocks the defensive bond for Sophia and the attack bond for Pierre, and he simply needs SR characters Sophia and Liphany for his own bonds. Okay, so here's the quick and dirty. We have Landius, who's a dominant distant counter tank, who unlocks the attack bonds for Lanford, Listel, the Knight of Mystery, and Rachel, and carries a faction buff for Yeles Legends. We have Yulia, who's a strong general-purpose tank disabler, who has self-revives and incidental healing. And we have Jugler, who's a dominant team healing tank, who unlocks the defensive bond for Sophia and the attack bond for Pierre, and carries a faction buff for Origins of Light. I always highly recommend summoning on this banner unless you already have all 3 units. Even if you do, this banner's not a bad one for light spenders to go fishing for dupes. All 3 are essential PvP units with amazing crossover utility into PvE. Now that this banner's on a repeating schedule, my intention for this semi-abridged version of Should You Summon is for it to be valid every time this banner comes back. So I can't give specifics about upcoming availability, because I don't know when you're watching this. Instead, check out the always up-to-date predicted banner schedule maintained by Has102938. I'll put the link in the description in case you don't already have it. Okay, I hope you found this video helpful. Let me know in the comments who you're hoping to get and what kind of luck you had. This is a rare banner where I already have the whole slate at 6 stars, so thankfully I get a brief moment of stress-free saving up before the next must-have new unit cleans me out. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next Should You Summon.